And you and I talked about that when he dropped out. I asked you what his legacy was going to be, and I believe you said it really is dependent on if Harris wins or loses. Obviously, she lost last night, but a big message in the weeks leading up to the election was democracy is on the line here. Democracy hangs in the balance. It's hanging on by a thread. If Donald Trump wins, who knows what will happen to democracy? Well, Donald Trump did win, so what do you think is going to happen to democracy?
I think that he now is in charge of the White House and the Senate at a minimum. Congress still hangs in the balance. He controls the Supreme Court. So who knows? I mean, who knows? And do I think he's going to be a dictator? No. Do I think he's going to go run an authoritarian regime and he's going to start jailing his political enemies? No. Will you and I sit here in 6 months and look back on this conversation and say, my God, was I naive? Maybe, but I really hope not. I think he's going to go in. I think he's going to try to roll back regulations. I think he's going to try to cut taxes. I think he's going to try to impose tariffs. I think he's going to try to bring an end to some of these wars abroad and do some of the things he spoke about. And I think he thinks now that he's going to be in the White House. He doesn't face prison time. And there's that whole, part of this soap opera that's yet to play out because there are a couple of cases that are still hanging out there. And then he's out of office in 3 years. And in the meantime, Democrats have a lot of soul searching to do and a lot of course correcting to do so that we learn the lessons and don't end up here again.
In that course correcting, where do Democrats go? What is the future of the party? Do they read the room and say, hey, the American people, by and large, didn't like the message we were delivering? How do we tailor that? Is it moving more moderately? What does that look like?
It's funny. I saw a tweet this morning, someone saying, the squad has the right idea. We need to listen to them. And I was like, nobody learns. The answer is not to move further to the fringe. The answer is to go to the middle and be consensus driven. And I think more than anything else, it is about listening. I think we need to do a listening tour and we need to hear from the people whose votes we take for granted. What is it that is hurting you and your family? What do you want to hear? What do you want to see? What do you think America needs to look like? Because I feel like in the last several months, we kept going back to the old playbook. Class warfare, $50,000 free money for first-time home buyer. These things don't work. And I think people don't believe in them. And so there has to be, Donald Trump walks into a ballroom in Nevada and looks at a group of casino workers and says, I'm going to make your tips tax deductible. That is a concrete thing that matters to people who make not that much money, but would impact their bottom line personally in a swing state. That was a concrete proposal that connected with a critical group of voters. We walked into a union hall in Michigan. We looked a bunch of union workers in the eye and said, I am going to impose tariffs on imported foreign cars to protect your jobs here. That matters to those people. Those are the kinds of things we want to do. And so I think we need to really start listening to the people that we purport to represent. Stop telling them that they're voting against their own self-interest. Stop looking down on them. Stop doing all of those things. And then in the next couple of years, come back with real policy platforms that are attainable and start to get stuff done and fix this problem. Because again, when I started, last night was a landslide and we've got to think long and hard about it.